Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the ALD vlog. Today we're going to be talking about the setup I did for Richmond Triangle Players' 25th anniversary, which was sort of, the overall event was called Fussy Feathers, but basically the performance aspect of it that I was involved in was a performance by Randy Roberts. So, on to the video. Hey guys, I just finished cueing Randy Roberts, and as you can tell by this blue light over there, it's currently dark, and I'm going to show you a little bit of what my setup is. So this is my magic sheet right here. I built a bunch of cues, as well as you can see over here, but it's pretty bare bones, and the reason I did that is I have like a base cue for each number, or each song or whatever, and then I'm basically kind of planning on busking the rest of it because I'm not quite sure what's happening. So as you can see, I've got this is a magic sheet that I made in EOS. I've got it sort of goes along the direct selects theme, but it's a little more attractive. I've got my groups up here, so I can click on a group, even though I pretty much know the group numbers by now, but I can click on something that I want and then select it, and then I can give it an intensity, and these are not terminating, so if I click 50%, it's not going to automatically go to 50%. So that way I can tell it how long to take to get to 50% or whatever. So I have options all the way up from 0 to 5. And so basically how this works is I'll say side LED, you can see the command line down there, group 81 at 50, sneak 3, and then in 3 seconds, group 81 will go to 50. And then down here I've got a bunch of color palettes as well, and then some effects, and a bunch of macros, so intensity, color, make the effect faster or slower, offset random if I'm doing an effect and I don't want it to go strictly left to right, shift plus and shift minus, and then because these sneak buttons are actually macros, so they're sort of bleeding in there because the numbers overlap. And then as you can see, here's the stage. These brilliant house lights were hung by the wonderful Lucian, and as you can see, the stage is right here. It's left over from RTP's production of A Chorus Line, which just closed last week, so I'm using the same rep plot. I didn't hang anything new, I just sort of fixed things that broke it by the end of Chorus Line, so it would work for my production, as you can tell. I've got chase lights, those were from Chorus Line. The house lights were added, but it's pretty much the same setup. And as you can tell, I'm running on Nomad. This is an old MacBook Pro, which is connected to RTP's monitor. RTP has an Insight 3 right now, which is sitting in the back in a pile somewhere. But for Chorus Line, we decided to run that on Nomad, so I had the advantage of the Nomad setup still being in place for the cabaret. And the reason we actually ended up using Nomad for Chorus Line was so we could do an easy show file transfer to when we took the production to Riverside in Fredericksburg. And I'll touch on that transfer and the whole process of merging show files and whatnot in a later vlog. So click that subscribe button down below to stay tuned. So the really cool thing about this magic sheet is I actually made this completely offline. I laid out all the buttons because I had the show file from Chorus Line before, so I had the patch and everything. I made the macros, I knew the groups already, so I basically, all the buttons were pre-made, except I added the plus or minus, shift plus, shift minuses, and then I mixed the color palettes in real life, but I labeled I recorded them blank and then just updated them as I got in the space. But I did this entirely on my own laptop and then just popped the flash drive in here when I moved in, so that saved a lot of time. So this is the final magic sheet that I ended up using at the end of the day. It's pretty much the same as what you saw earlier, except I added a submaster here for the house, so if the audience, we had some audience specials left over from Chorus Line. So if Randy went out into the aisle, I could bring the lights up and so we could still see him. But other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. But I did want to call attention to my my playback cue list, and I wanted to show you some of my intensity blocks, blocks, and asserts. Now I know I talked about intensity blocks and regular blocks in my first vlog, which was Dancing with the Richmond Stars, but I did want to talk about asserts, which is what this little A means. And basically, that means it'll take the value of whatever's in that cue no matter what. It won't take anything else. So say if I was in cue 52 and I said, chase lights at 80, then if I hit go on cue 59, which is asserted, and the chase lights weren't in cue 59, it'll say, nope, chase lights go out. So basically that's helpful for blackouts or spot outs or like blue outs or whatever, where you don't want any changes. You want it to be exactly how it looks. So if you add a bunch of light beforehand, you want it to go away to make it a true blackout. Here is my cue sheet for Randy Roberts. As you can tell, it's also pretty bare bones because I'm not like trying to show this off to get hired or anything like that. But it's pretty simple. It's got the framework cue numbers, like I said, descriptions, placement. I got like a little script or whatever, sort of outline thing from Randy Roberts, which isn't complete, but it does give like cue lines when things happen. So like overture ends and next song begins, and then I'll have a line for when I'm supposed to do something or when the next song is about to start. So I sort of went off of that as well. And then on the side here I have a column for what the spot's doing, and I have another column for what the house lights are doing, because the house lights are controlled by the wall, but the real house lights, not the tacky ones over there, but like the manual house lights are separate. And then our spot is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a source 4 on a stick. And we have a wonderful spot op who's going to be coming to help us with that as well. He's awesome. His name is Eric. And yeah. Hey guys, so we just finished the show. I think it went really well. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the ALD Vlogs. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you have any comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas for new videos. Anyway, be sure to keep a lookout for new exciting content coming soon. And see you next time.